He's a demon, number one. And number two, the fact that he thinks that he had the right to do that and then create a whole fake scenario and all of that to make me deceptive and think that he's protective and I should stay with him because he's so protective of me. Like, that in itself, you're delusional and you're diabolical.
This is Nafia Ikram, a 21-year-old pre-med student from Long Island, New York, who was just steps from her front door when a man in a mask crept up behind her and threw concentrated sulfuric acid directly into her face. She lost sight in one eye, had the acid burn all the way into her throat, and spent the next 5 years going from surgery to surgery. And here is the part that takes this story from tragic to absolutely unbelievable. The man who arranged that attack was someone she had only gone on 2 dates with. When she did not give him the attention he felt he deserved, he decided to destroy her face. And the man who actually threw the acid, he went home and rapped about it on YouTube.
Got him trapped using the bitch with a foreign accent. I'm discreet in the night like a hitman assassin. Try to run up and have your face burning acid. I'm like the crocodile hunting out in Lake Placid. Harry Potter with the stick showing out enchantments. The prophecy like Moses and carry out commandments.
We are going to break all of that down. But first, you need to understand who everybody is, because the background is the whole story here. Nafia grew up as the only child of a Pakistani-American family in a neighborhood called Elmont, which is in Nassau County on Long Island, just outside New York City. Her parents had worked hard to build a stable, quiet life there. By the time she was 21, Nafia was a pre-med student at Hofstra University, working part-time as a pharmacy technician at a CVS store in a nearby town called Baldwin, and her goal was to become a doctor. Nafia had a clear plan and was executing on it every single day. She was going to class, doing her pharmacy shifts, and coming straight home. She had no drama, enemies, or anything about her life that would explain what was about to happen to her. Now let us get into who the 2 men that are responsible for what happened to her, because understanding their backgrounds and how they connect to each other is key to understanding how something discalculated even came together. The first is Shaquille Koch, 31 years old at the time of his arrest. Koch grew up in Brooklyn, attended Nazareth Regional High School in the East Flatbush area, and went on to graduate from Hofstra University in 2017 with a degree in exercise science. After Hofstra, he pursued a career in healthcare, working as an exercise physiologist and later enrolling in a nursing program at Pacific College of Health and Science in Manhattan. By the time investigators caught up with him, he was a senior nursing student, reportedly just 3 weeks away from completing his degree and becoming a registered nurse. His LinkedIn described him as someone with a strong foundation in holistic care. He had no prior felony record and had not run when police first questioned him years before his arrest. On paper, this man looked like he had everything on track, but underneath all of that was a jealousy and control problem that he never dealt with, and it eventually caught up to everybody around him. The second man is Terrell Campbell, 29 years old at the time of his arrest. Campbell also attended Nazareth Regional High School, which is how he and Koch had known each other since they were teenagers. After high school, Campbell actually played college football as a defensive lineman at Anna Maria College in Massachusetts and graduated with a degree in financial services around 2018.
Yo, Keisha, where you at?
Boy, I'm in my room. What?
Yo, who's this Marvin on your Instagram that always liking your pictures and commenting hard eyes? Like, you know this or something? Like, do I know him? Where he from? Terrell, it is not that deep. I've known him since school. We went in class together, and then we always had each other on Instagram. It is not that deep. Boy, you too sensitive. What? Listen, this man is always liking your pictures, always commenting hard eyes. Like, I ain't going back and forth with you. Just delete this man. Please, delete this man. Listen, you need to stop this insecure behavior. You're too grown to let another affect how you feel about me. Like, I'm the one sleeping with you. Okay? That is my friend, and I've known him for years, and I'm not going to delete him. Okay? Period.
Okay.
So you dead now?
I'm so dead ass.
Alright, cool. Say no more.
He was also a cancer survivor, having shared publicly in 2018 that he had been battling leukemia during his college years. After graduating, he moved back to Brooklyn, worked as a flower delivery driver, and was trying to build a rap career under the name Young Based Prince.
Niggas wanna come act hot, wanna go cool more. Have brothers come rip the chest, like Slim, make a nigga cool. Hot as that, all you want off on your crib, but a mama talk. Throw his ass to the lines, like his name was Jericho. You would think I'm an astronaut, cause with the gun out, blast it off. In a black van like Friday, they spray the Mac, please on the porch. Niggas don't come more. Cause these niggas soft like a tennis ball. Bullets hit his back like your Franklin and Snowfall. Wait, he's still alive? Crush his head with a bullet ball. No, I can't show no remorse. I'm a virus like a Trojan horse. We militant like a task force. Hoes in you like a golf course. Look, enemy, I'm a big nerd, but still sitting here like big worm. I'll bite his stuff like a bad perm. Hunt you in the woods, made a wrong turn. Give him brain like a bookworm. It was so elite, now my body squirm.
He had absolutely no connection to Nafia before any of this happened. He did not know her, had never met her, and had no reason on his own to want to hurt her. The only reason he ended up in her driveway is because his old high school friend brought him there. So how did Nafia end up connected to Coke in the first place? They met through Hofstra. Coke had already graduated by the time she enrolled, but they crossed paths through that connection, and in late 2020, they started dating. They had a months-long relationship that Nafia ended in approximately February 2021, about 1 month before the attack. From Nafia's own account, it was never that deep to her. She told reporters they only went on 2 dates and she had already spotted red flags. She ended it and kept it moving, the way any person does when something is not working for them.
Ikram says the two dated just twice.
He's a demon, number one. And number two, the fact that he thinks that he had the right to do that in itself and then create a whole fake scenario and all of that to make me deceptive and think that he's protective and I should stay with him because he's so protective of me. Like that in itself, you're delusional and you're diabolical. So that type of person, I just don't think, like how we were saying before, we don't need people like that on the street. And I'm just really grateful that at least the person's in custody now, because that was my big fear from yesterday, that I was like, oh my God, like what if they don't arrest him, you know?
However, Coke did not move on. He became obsessed after the breakup, convinced himself without any real evidence that Nafia had been unfaithful, and started feeling like she had never given him the respect he felt he was owed. That wounded pride is what set everything else into motion. In the weeks before March 17, 2021, Coke ran what can only be described as a setup. He created a fake Snapchat account under the name Wheezy Durrell, pretended to be a completely different person. He used that account to have conversations with Nafia, where he asked her how serious she thought their relationship had actually been, and whether she had been faithful to him during it. Nafia had no idea she was talking to Coke. She answered honestly, telling this fake profile that the relationship had not been that serious to her. That answer was exactly what Coke had been looking for. He treated it as confirmation that she had disrespected him and that she deserved to be punished for it. He went to Campbell with a plan, telling him he wanted something devastating to happen to Nafia and that karma was going to take care of her. Coke knew her home address and her work schedule at the pharmacy from when they were together. He knew exactly when she would be coming home. None of this was guesswork. On the evening of March 17, 2021, cell phone records and text messages show Coke met up with Campbell approximately 1 hour before the attack. From there, Coke drove the two of them to Nafia's home on Arlington Avenue in Elmont in a red 2015 Nissan Altima that was registered to one of Campbell's family members. Surveillance cameras in the area captured the car sitting outside the house, waiting for her to arrive. At around 8:30 that evening, Nafia and her mother pulled into the driveway after her shift at the pharmacy. Her mother went inside first. Nafia stayed in the car to grab her things and then started walking toward the front door. Campbell, dressed in a black hooded sweatshirt, a mask, and gloves, got out of the waiting car, walked up behind Nafia, and threw the contents of a cup directly at her face, her neck, and her chest. The liquid was 70% concentrated sulfuric acid. The moment it made contact, she started screaming, and as she screamed, the acid ran down into her mouth and all the way into her throat. It melted the contact lens she was wearing directly onto the surface of her right eye. She collapsed on her front lawn. Campbell ran back to the car, and Coke drove them both away from the scene before anyone on the block even understood what had just happened. Her father was inside near the stove when she came running screaming. Her mother rushed back out to help. Both of her parents got burns on their hands and arms trying to help her before the ambulance arrived. Her mother called 911 and started pouring water on Nafia's face while they waited. An ambulance rushed her. Responding officers described her face as looking as if the skin was falling off. She had second and third degree chemical burns across approximately 3/4 of her face, her neck, chest, arms, wrists, and shoulders, and the acid had entered her eye, her mouth, and traveled down her throat. She could not eat, speak normally, and could barely see. She spent weeks in intensive care, and that was just the start of a road that would run for years. Meanwhile, Koch went back to his regular life. Police interviewed him early in the investigation, and he denied everything. He held that same story for years, but roughly 2 months after the attack, while Nafia was still going through surgeries and could barely eat, he apparently could not help himself. Using a fake phone number to hide where the messages were actually coming from, Koch allegedly sent Nafia a series of vulgar and cruel text messages calling her Freddy Krueger, the name of the horror movie character known for severe facial burns, as a direct taunt about her disfigurement. The same man telling police he had nothing to do with any of this was privately sending messages to mock the injuries he had organized. Surveillance video from near the house showed a red Nissan Altima leaving the scene, but the car had no visible license plate in the footage, which left investigators with a lead they could not quickly chase down. They interviewed people, pulled records, issued subpoenas, and ran down every tip that came in. Nothing moved. A $50,000 Crime Stoppers reward was offered for useful information.
Well, it's been nearly 2 years since someone threw acid on a young woman from Long Island, leaving her severely burned. Today, she spoke out, pleading for anyone with information to come forward.
Yeah, to find help to find her attacker. Reward leading to an arrest has been increased substantially. James Ford has more from Elmont on Long Island.
It shouldn't have to take money for you to be a good person at heart and just be like, damn, this girl is going through so much, let me have some mercy, and just tell the police officers who did this, because that's wrong.
Nafia Ikram speaks to her attacker and anyone who knows who that attacker is on the day that law enforcement and elected officials made this announcement.
Somebody knows something. We're offering you up $50,000 if you come forward with information that leads to the arrest and conviction of this individual.
That's up from $10,000 initially, which rose to $20,000 and then $30,000 in this crime that happened around 7:40 on the night of March 17th, 2021. That's when this suspect, a man she didn't know, who's about 6 feet 2 inches tall, thin build, and wearing a dark hoodie and gloves, ran up to Ikram and threw muriatic acid in her face.
Like, I just recently had a surgery where my sutures were so tight I couldn't even fit a straw in my mouth for almost a week. I've had 8 surgeries so far, and I don't know how many more I'm going to continue to have.
The suspect sped off on Lucille Avenue in Elmont in a red Nissan Altima, a 2013 to 2015 model, according to flyers sent out in English and Arabic to this multi-ethnic community, of which Nafia Ikram is a part, but, she says, not fully at this point.
Why am I this paranoid that someone's going to break in and attack me? It's because this person's still out there. So that's literally what it comes down to. And as a 23-year-old, think about how inhumane it feels to have to live your life like that.
Nafia Ikram says she wants the world to know her status as part of an effort to stop acid attack crimes. About 1,200 are reported yearly worldwide, although experts say more than that go unreported every year. 80% of the attacks are on women like Ikram.
I'm grateful that my case came to this level so that in the future I'd be able to help other people that went through something similar traumatically like I did.
She said that information showing that search warrants, interviews, electronic surveillance, and other work done with the FBI all make her feel that the investigators are getting close to finding whoever did this to her. She said she feels satisfied, at least for now.
Community leaders held press events and politicians came out publicly calling for justice. By the 1-year mark, Nafia's family was openly frustrated and asking loudly whether law enforcement was doing enough. Police pushed back and said they had never stopped working the case and they were telling the truth, but the specific evidence needed to crack it open had not shown up yet.
We took a lot of heat over the last 5 years. Oh, you're not doing enough. The police department's not doing enough. Know this. The Nassau County Police Department never gives up on their victims.
There was also a ticking clock. The statute of limitations on the crime was 5 years, meaning that if no arrest was made by March 17, 2026, nobody could ever be charged for what happened to Nafia. With every month that passed, that window got smaller. Then, in late 2025, somebody from the community finally said something, and everything broke open at once. A tip from the community in late 2025 pointed detectives toward Terrell Campbell, and from there, the case cracked wide open. Investigators found the red Nissan Altima parked right outside Campbell's home in Brooklyn and matched it to the car he had been driving in 2021 through prior traffic tickets and accidents where he had provided his own license. Then they pulled his internet search history.
In the minutes right after the attack on March 17, 2021, Campbell had searched sulfuric acid remover, sulfuric acid on car seat, can you recover from sulfuric acid burn, and acid attack, Franklin Square, Long Island. Every single one of those searches happened before any news outlet had written a single word about what happened to Nafia. He ran those searches from his own account, on his own phone, right after throwing acid in a woman's face and driving away. And then there was the rap song. In October 2023, more than 2 years after the attack, Campbell uploaded a music video to YouTube under his rap name Young Based Prince for a song called Obsidian. The lyrics included the line, "On the street in the night like a hitman assassin, try to run up and have your face burn in acid." He rapped about what he did and posted it for anyone with internet access to find.
Straight from the shadows. Who's that? Young Bass Prince? He deep in the shadows. I got the heart of a lion, they try to tame the beast. Be careful what's your life, it ain't built for the weak. Understand the game, quick to take advantage. You stepping over boundaries, the shit you can't manage. There's no turning back. Once you cause it damage, be careful with this beef, I put you in a state of panic. When it comes to work, my hands busy like mechanics. You're gonna be shocked from the static if you touch my cabbage. I don't give a fuck if your whole team full of bandits. C36C, aiming like it's fucking practice. Watch these assault rifle bullets tear up your jacket. I have these niggas starving, like they was fasting. Driving in first place, who you think y'all niggas passing? I collect the niggas in the eye and tell they asses acting. He the type to show guns and pics, but never blast them. I got him trapped using a bitch with a forward axe. I'm discreet in the night like a hitman assassin. Try to run up and have your face burning acid. I'm like the crocodile hunting out in Lake Placid. Harry Potter with the stick shooting out enchantments. The prophecy like Moses and carry out commandments. Ugly bitches touching me, that's sexual harassment. You survived the bullet but your head was still fragments. How the cops set you up and trick you with entrapment. Niggas can't enter my circle like they tangents. My bitch bad like she belong in beauty pageants. Niggas being better than me, can you imagine? Like a deadbeat father, his presence became abstract. Mothers with a newborn, music is my attachment. I'm trying to elevate too much, niggas remain stagnant. You tried to sneak that gun and I stole it with a magnet. I'm like a stroke, making niggas face root slam. Blending with the night, where you think I'm called the Phantom? Playing Russian roulette, who's dying out of random? I killed the lion with my bare hands, call me Samson. I girl, what's his weakness? Be careful with distractions. I need my duffel bag filled up with Andrew Jackson. You manifest what you say, the laws of attraction. So I need like 100 million, making trust funds for all my future children. I'm a cold-blooded animal, like a reptilian. In a house a different door, but you wanna join Slytherin. Respect like a mob boss, that's full Sicilian. Possessing niggas shadows with the power of obsidian. Leave you in a black hole, the state of oblivion. With the Greek gods, I got the status of Olympian. We have this discussion every time.
Campbell was arrested on February 9, 2026, charged with 2 counts of first-degree assault, criminal possession of a weapon, and unlawfully possessing noxious materials, and held without bail after pleading not guilty.
After nearly 5 years, an arrest has been made in that terrifying acid attack that left a Long Island college student permanently scarred.
Back in March of 2021, Nafia Ikram was attacked in her own driveway in Elmont when a hooded man threw a cup of acid in her face and then sped off. The injuries were devastating, burning her throat and leaving her blind in one eye. Now prosecutors say they have identified the suspect. Carolyn Gussoff has covered this story from the very beginning and just spoke with the victim. She joins us live now from Elmont. Carolyn?
Jessica and Christine, it's what prosecutors call one of the most vicious and barbaric acts ever to take place in Nassau County. And tonight they say they've solved at least part of the mystery. They say they now know who threw acid in the face of Nafia Ikram in her driveway behind me 5 years ago, but they still do not know why. A flower delivery worker from Brooklyn, 29-year-old Terrell Campbell, brought to court where he pleaded not guilty to assault, weapons, and noxious materials charges. Prosecutors say he is the hooded man in this 2021 surveillance video who threw acid in Nafia Ikram's face as the then 21-year-old returned home from work.
Finally, we believe this almost 5-year-old mystery has been solved. Campbell thought he got away with it. He bragged on the internet for everyone to see, but he could not have been more wrong.
The break in the case came late last year through a tip leading cops to Campbell, a red Nissan Altima parked in front of his home, matching the car that's been sought for years. Law enforcement then uncovered what they call shockingly incriminating web searches.
Minutes following the 2021 attack, we found searches asking, how do I remove sulfuric acid from my car's fabric?
Prosecutors say he not only searched about the crime, but the aspiring rapper also sang about it, a song entitled Obsidian.
On the street in the night like a hitman assassin. Try to run up and have your face burning acid.
Obsidian means hot lava that comes from a volcano. It's sickening, it's cruel, and it's brazen.
Have anything to say for yourself? Campbell said nothing. Ikram says she has mixed emotions, still processing the shock of the arrest after enduring dozens of surgeries, skin grafts, and vision loss in one eye. The agony of not knowing who did this for years.
I hope that things come to light. I did have my tears of joy yesterday, for sure.
We took a lot of heat over the last 5 years. Oh, you're not doing enough. The police department's not doing enough. Know this, the Nassau County Police Department never gives up on their victims.
But today, there is relief and thanks.
Investigators then used the evidence from his arrest to complete the case against Koch. Cell phone records placed the two men together 1 hour before the attack. The digital trail tied Koch to the planning, the getaway, and the harassing messages he had sent Nafia from the fake phone number months after. Koch was arrested in Brooklyn on March 24, 2026, arraigned before Judge Joy Watson the same day, pleaded not guilty, and was denied bail.
A horrific acid attack on a college student in 2021. 31-year-old Shaquille Koch of Brooklyn appeared in court to face several serious charges. He is a former Hofstra student and the ex-boyfriend of the victim, Nafia Ikram. Prosecutors say he allegedly orchestrated the attack due to his anger over their relationship. Long Island reporter Stacey Sager live in Elmont with more on this story. Stacey.
Well, you know, Dave, it was 5 years ago. Nafia Ikram was only a feet away from the safety of her own home here in Elmont. And now, as you said, authorities have a second person in custody for this horrific acid attack, an acid attack that changed her life forever. Now, this is the man that they have now arrested. His name is 31-year-old Shaquille Koch. As you said, prosecutors are calling him her ex-boyfriend. But Nafia just told us, you know, they only went out on 2 dates, and she saw red flags, and that's putting it mildly. Now, this is Koch's high school friend, 29-year-old Terrell Campbell. He was the first one who was actually charged in this case back in February. Prosecutors say he's the one who threw the acid onto Nafia in this grainy video from 5 years ago, but they say that Koch was really bitter about Nafia not liking him enough. They say video and cell phone records will prove the connection from him to all of this, and it will prove that Koch was really the motivator here, the one who drove the getaway car, even though he has denied any involvement in this for years, including today. Here's what he and Nafia both told us.
Anything to say?
I'm innocent.
The fact that he thinks that he had the right to do that in itself, and then create a whole fake scenario and all of that to make me deceptive and think that he's protective and I should stay with him because he's so protective of me. Like, that in itself, you're delusional and you're diabolical. So that type of person, I just don't think, like how we were saying before, we don't need people like that on the street. And I'm just really grateful that at least the person's in custody now, because that was my big fear from yesterday, that I was like, oh my God, like what if they don't arrest him, you know, those kinds of things. And I do also want to add in that I'm hoping that the way he felt about karma, how he said, I'm going to take karma into my own hands, that kind of thing, and thought he could do this, you reap what you sow.
And Shaquille Koch, like his co-defendant, now faces a host of charges. He's indicted by a grand jury. He's charged with first-degree assault, weapons possession, also possession of noxious materials. He is due back in court next month, but once again, just a remarkable development in a case that has now spanned 5 years.
Even though his lawyer argued he had no prior felony record and was just weeks from finishing his nursing degree, his next court date was set for April 20th. Both men are in custody, with the cases in pre-trial, although no trial date has been set as of late March 2026. Nafia was in the courtroom the day Koch came in. She had not been face-to-face with him since before any of this happened. Now, through all 5 of those years between the attack and the arrests, Nafia was not sitting still. She was going through a level of physical suffering that is genuinely hard to put into words. By early 2025, she had already been through nearly a dozen surgeries and was looking at up to 25 total procedures managed by a team of 13 doctors that included Dr. Eduardo Rodriguez at NYU Langone Health, one of the top facial reconstruction surgeons in the world.
The operations covered skin grafts from other parts of her body onto her face, eyelid reconstruction, and throat dilations every 2 weeks for years, just to stop scar tissue from closing off her airway. That was a medical necessity to allow her to breathe and swallow food normally. A GoFundMe promoted by celebrity chef Padma Lakshmi, who knew the family, raised nearly $600,000 toward her medical costs. Nafia has spoken openly about going through depression, PTSD, a mental breakdown around 16 months after the attack, and suicidal thoughts. She described being triggered by red cars on the road and coming home after dark because that is exactly what she was doing the night someone took her life apart. But Nafia did not let that pull her under completely. She went back to her pre-med studies at Hofstra part-time, tried to return to pharmacy work, and started speaking publicly at schools and community events about resilience, mental health, and self-worth. She journaled every single day, went to therapy, trained with a personal trainer to rebuild her strength and confidence, and kept an emotional support cat she named Zen. She was putting herself back together piece by piece, while the people who did this to her were still out here living free. And when Koch was finally in handcuffs and she was standing outside that courthouse, she had a lot to say. She also addressed all that karma talk Koch had been doing before the attack.
I'm hoping that the way he felt about karma, how he said, I'm going to take karma into my own hands, that kind of thing, and thought he could do this, you reap what you sow.
The whole case nearly expired. The statute of limitations would have run out on March 17, 2026, 5 years to the exact day from the night of the attack. Campbell was arrested in February, and Koch was arrested in March with days to spare. And whoever made that anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers in late 2025 will be collecting the $50,000 reward. Somebody in that community held on to what they knew for a long time, and when the moment counted, they stepped up. Do you think the whistleblower is someone Koch and Campbell probably knew or confided in? Let me know in the comments section. Also, click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one.